Welcome to That's Good Sports. I am Brandon, your AFC West shit talker Perna. This is the second video in my State of the AFC West post-draft and post-free agency series. And today we're going to take a look at the Oakland Raiders and try to figure out if Jon Gruden is a genius or a fucking lunatic who just wants to sign old-ass players because he can't relate to millennials. Look, everyone hates the Raiders outside of Oakland, but my vow is to be fair in this video. If you are a Raiders fan, I will talk plenty of shit along the way, but my intentions here are pure, like Sheriff Woody from Toy Story, the most noble character in film history. That's Good Sports. Please make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel, That's Good Sports. If you're already subbed, click the notification button. That's very important. And I do have big dick Patreon shout outs for Adolfo, not Hitler, Hurtado. Thank you for making that clear, Adolfo. Brandon Miller for upping his donation to $5. Taylor Cole and Dashiel Slootbeak. Patreon is how this channel functions and stays alive. Your donations are my lifeblood. I do offer a Patreon-only podcast, so please check it out. Patreon.com/ThatsGoodSports. Okay, the Oakland Raiders finished last season 6-10, just a mosquito dick better than the Broncos, as Teddy Roosevelt used to say. Derek Carr struggled most of the year with a back injury, while also battling the demons of ball security at the pylon. And head coach Jack "My Hair Is Always Perfect" Del Rio was fired. A highlight from their year, though, was this banking music video Carr did. After that aired, I could never hate Derek Carr again, and I spent $300 on Wrangler's jeans the moment I saw that commercial. The Broncos and Raiders in the 6th round both took linebackers from Washington. Azim Victor and Keyshawn Birria, two teammates, two friends so close that their highlights are listed together on YouTube. It's like Romulus and Remus separated at birth, except one gets to play in football paradise where the wolves' teats he'll be suckling on are John Elway's, and the other will become the first player in NFL history to try and move back to Compton after realizing these two guys are his bosses. Outside of robbing the Raiders of $100 million, I'm not sure Jon Gruden knows what the fuck he's doing, besides accurately predicting his own death. He said it, not me. Probably dead in less than 10 years. That's how that headline reads in my head. It's why it's called a headline, a line of words open for interpretation in your head. Look, the exact reason I currently don't trust Jon Gruden, which could change with proven success, is this non-death related article that stated Gruden has effectively replaced Reggie McKenzie as GM. Why? Reggie McKenzie is the only reason the Raiders dug themselves out of that 14-year run as the bottom feeders of the AFC West. Phillip Rivers' bolo tie had more respect than the Raiders before Reggie McKenzie arrived. I mean, he drafted all of the good current Raiders, and Jon Gruden came into the building and said, "You know, Reggie, you've done an amazing job, but I, Chucky Gruden, future ruler of Caesar's Palace, can do an amazinger job." McKenzie knew his fate as soon as Gruden accepted the job. Just look at this photo. He's pissed. Mark Davis knows he just stabbed him in the back, and Gruden is so powerful that he is literally shitting in his pants right there to establish dominance. Kids, if you want to establish dominance in the classroom and thwart off bullies, shit your pants. Gruden then went on to select offensive tackle Kolton Miller with the 15th overall pick, a guy many had projected as a third-round selection. Gruden passed up on safety Derwin James at 15, who the Chargers then took 2 spots later at 17, and everyone cheered about the steal the Chargers made by taking James at 17. The crazy thing here is the Chargers already had a great secondary, and Oakland's secondary was the opposite of great, which is J.R. Smith right now. Their secondary has been terrible for several years outside of a 90-year-old Charles Woodson before he retired to become the lowest baritone voice on ESPN. Not only did Gruden not upgrade his secondary with many great players on the draft board, he chose to upgrade the offensive line instead. An aging unit, but a current area of strength, finishing 12th in run blocking and 7th in pass blocking, while the biggest needs remained unaddressed on defense. Gruden took another offensive tackle in the 3rd round and then drafted an injured corner in Nick Nelson in the 4th to help that awful secondary. Now, I admit, I want the Raiders to fail, and Gruden's draft looks dumb on paper, which means it will probably be the best 2018 draft. No, I don't know how any of this shit works, and I've been studying it hard. If Oakland did improve, it's on the offensive and defensive front, which, if true, will pay huge dividends in the long run. If Derek Carr is healthy and has great protection, that offense can be great as long as they finish their games before 4:30 p.m., so running backs Marshawn, Lynch, and Doug Martin can get back into their retirement communities before the gates are locked. Here's where Gruden may be right and smarter than all of the other teams in the AFC West. The Chargers' offensive line sucks. The Broncos' offensive line sucks. The Chiefs' offensive line mediocre at best. Gruden, by selecting 2 linemen in this draft, may be ahead of the curve and keeping his line better than the others in the AFC West, who have failed miserably at upgrading their offensive lines. If the defensive front 7 with 2 new defensive tackles, a linebacker, and defensive end added in the draft is destroying pockets, like my wallet and phone, then their shitty secondary will get better by default. So what did the Raiders do right? What is their secret weapon for 2018? It is long snapper Drew Scott. Between his 5 HGTV shows from the Property Brothers franchise, I have no idea how this guy will have time to play on Sunday. But when this move works, which it will, Gruden will look like a fucking genius for getting the Property Brothers, who live in Vegas by the way, to design the new stadium with an open concept floor plan and wainscoting in the home locker room. A distinct advantage in feng shui. Eat shit, Chip and Joanna. Eat it! Eat that shit. Eat that design stadium shit. Gruden's offseason plan was, I'm gonna get rid of our best wide receiver, Michael Crabtree, because I don't want a receiver who gets owned by Aqib Talib every year. Wait, what? Talib was traded to the Rams? Ah, shit. That's okay. Let me not re-sign TJ Carrie, the only good corner on our team, and I will cut Marquette King, even though he's one of, if not the best punters in the league, so I can waste a draft pick on a punter. Then I will sign all of the oldest players in the league because, again, I'm an old school coach who's going to do things the old school way. Jon Gruden. The Raiders added 19 veterans to the roster, and maybe Jeremy Maclin next. Here's the list, which includes Jordy Nelson and Martavis Bryant, which in my opinion may be the most interesting additions who could make or break this offense in 2018. Gruden did sign former Chiefs linebacker Derek Johnson, who is 35 years old. I mean, their offseason has shown an insane amount of change, none of which makes you say, oh shit, that's definitely a great pickup for the Raiders. The only move I 100% agree with is the releasing of Aldon Smith, which was basically forced by Smith and California state law. The Raiders may have gotten a little bit better through free agency. I don't know, it's hard to say when you make about 90 roster moves. Regardless of whether the players are good or not, this is a lot of change, including to the coaching staff, which takes time to build chemistry. I don't think they did well in the draft, at least in terms of an immediate impact for players, and I believe they will be worse in 2018, unless Derek Carr wins league MVP. Every team's success depends on the quarterback, right? Well, I think it's especially true right now in the AFC West this year, because outside of Phillip Rivers, there isn't a guarantee of performance by Carr, Mahomes, or Keenum, and all of those guys get to face top pass rushers in the NFL at least 6 times in 2017. My prediction for Oakland is that they finish in last place in the AFC West. Also, again, all of this is meaningless if injuries ransack any of the teams in the division. But if the Raiders win more than 5 games, I'll be surprised. Sorry, Oakland. Thanks for watching another episode of That's Good Sports. Please subscribe here on YouTube. Share these videos on social media. Check out my website, ThatsGoodSports.com. Will Keys is writing great articles there. These videos are up, and we should have a podcast there soon. I'm on Twitter at Brandon Perna. Oh, yeah.